What's the difference between a managed fund and a hedge fund?
Okay. So
I've heard you got on a kick lately about this hedge fund.
I did. So hedge
Tell
funds.
me why you got on the kick.
Okay, so
because it's interesting. It's very interesting.
So here's why I went down the hedge fund rabbit hole. I was looking at the Forbes 400, and I looked at it, and what that is the richest people in the world, and it has 400 people listed.
Yep.
And
Thomas Cox is number 5, by the way.
And so you looked at you got the names that you know.
Yeah.
You got the Elons, you got the Bill Gateses,
right,
you got the big names, the guy that owns LVMH. You got the names that you know.
Right.
But as I started looking down the list, it goes Elon Musk, and it's got the number that he's worth, and it's out there. It's got the job or the thing that he did to earn that money.
Right.
But I started scrolling on that list, and there's Ray Dalio on there. Ray Dalio's written a book. He's big buddies with Tony Robbins. He's a hedge fund guy, and I've heard that word forever.
Yeah.
But listen, Luke, I start scrolling on that list, and about every 5th person, it says hedge fund. That's all it says. Wow. And I'd go down and it'd say 2 or 3 people in a row, hedge fund, hedge fund, hedge fund. And I'd scroll, hedge fund, hedge fund, hedge fund.
So interesting.
And I call Mark.
You're like, what's
going on? What am I missing?
What am I missing?
So I call Mark.
Should I open up a hedge fund?
So I call Mark. And okay, let me talk about managed fund first. A managed fund, Mark gets 1% of my portfolio. Let's
Mark is your financial
Mark
guy.
is my financial advisor.
Yes.
So say I have $1 million because it's a good round number. Say I have $1 million in my managed fund. Mark gets 1% of that yearly. So what's his motive? He has motivation to do what?
Absolutely.
To make it grow.
More money.
To make more money. Because if I have $1.5 million, he makes more money. Okay.
Simple.
So pretty much all managed funds are 1%.
Yeah.
Let's talk about hedge funds. But that's all Mark gets. He gets 1% of portfolio worth. That's it.
Okay.
That's his fee.
Got you.
Let's talk about hedge funds. You ready for this?
Oh.
So hedge funds. So they get 2% of portfolio worth.
Okay.
So they've already doubled what a regular managed fund.
Yep.
Okay. The next thing is hedge fund managers get 20% of profit.
What?
Yes. So if
they make you $1 million,
they get $200K off the bat. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So if I give Mark $1 million in my managed account, and I call him 6 months later and say, "Hey, bro, I want to liquidate it. I need my money. I got to go buy something." He's like, "All right." He gives it to me. Hedge funds, you have to commit to a certain number of years. Sometimes 3, sometimes 5, sometimes 7 years. So you cannot get your money out. That's number 2. Ooh. Listen to this though. When Mark calls, I can ask Mark, "What are we investing in?" He can go down the list and tell me. Hedge funds, they do not have to tell you. A lot of times they will not tell you.
Oh my God.
They won't tell you. They keep your money.
Talk about terrifying.
But here's what happens too. In hedge funds, there's always a minimum. But here's who is also investing in hedge funds. Harvard, Yale, these big and what they call endowments. I remember you used to work at Huntington. They had an endowment.
We had an endowment.
Baylor has an endowment. Sanford University has an endowment.
Right.
So what they will do is these endowments for these big universities and these people have just tons of, they will take $1 billion, $2 billion and put in a hedge fund.
Oh my God.
Now the hedge fund stuff is aggressive. They will invest, but here's the thing. In hedge funds, they've got so much money in the portfolio that any little raise, any little uptick is a large number.
Yeah.
So if they've got $5 or $10 billion in a hedge fund and they make 1%, that's a lot of freaking money. And they get 20%, and they get 20% of that, and that money's locked in.
Oh my God.
After understanding this, I realized why these guys are making so much money.
Heck
Number
yeah.
one, they're getting double what a regular financial planner's getting, number one. And then number 2, they get 20% of anything that they make. There's a lot of motivation there. Now, the guys that are giving this money to the hedge fund guys, they're making money too.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But the hedge fund managers who are making the moves, those are the ones that are killing it.
So a hedge fund person, how many clients do they have? Because that's a lot of money. So do you just focus on one client, or do you just get all?
No, you pull that money together. So they may have a hedge fund that's got a $10 billion entry. We're going to cap it at $10 billion, $500 million. So there's a big difference in moving 10% on $1 million and then 10% on $2 billion. Yeah. It's a huge number. So It's a rabbit hole worth going down. But you also, as you scroll that Forbes
So
400,
interesting.
those guys are nameless and faceless.
Yeah.
And it's like, who's this freaking guy?
Who is this guy?
Who's this guy? But there's
He's
so many
behind
of
the
them.
scenes
There's
and making
so
a
many of them on there.
of money.
And we think that college or pro athletes make a lot. Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes makes $50 million a year. That's a drop in a bucket to some of these hedge fund guys.
Which is insane.
Absolutely insane.